but I'm not gonna tell him anything. So, you guys go to the Temple of Lightning. It was discovered, as evidenced by the trader presence around it. You guys do have with you Groban, Grobor, Fenrir, and Nathor, as well as the Watchers, the Rangers. Because they do serve Margin United as well. They serve the Watchers, the actual Watchers. You guys got quite a motley force here, don't you? You guys think, man, it's gonna be a tough time cracking through all this, but we have a lot of people and a lot of stuff. And then you see a bunch of Skornkin emerge out from the opposite side and begin attacking the traders.
Hello.
And you're just like,
the fuck?
You're like, what? Don't get me wrong, the traders are like super gonna win. But it definitely gives you a massive opportunity for a flanking maneuver. Which you guys do. Between two giant horsemen and their mounts and Skornkin and da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it's pretty fast work. The traders had a really entrenched position, but being entrenched is both a blessing and a curse because suddenly your fortifications become your tomb when they get breached. Like by, like, say, like a massive wolf or like a massive boar that like can eat people and like begin healing off of it. Yeah, that's besides the point. So, you guys make quick work of the traders. And the Skornkin, the rather large amount of Skornkin at that, at least in your recording, or your mental recording raise. Like, because a Skornkin tribe is only like a dozen to like 2 dozen at most. This one has like 3 score or so 60 about. It's pretty big. And as you guys are picking through it, yeah, these actually are different Skornkin tribes. They even fought amongst themselves. But they're all just sort of attacking this general direction. Raiding is a better way of putting it. That's weird. Quite peculiar. But you guys have the place secure and the Skornkin are all dead. You know, what's the phrase? When 2 evils do battle with one another, the forces of good can only win. That's exactly what happened.
Hey.
You guys enter the Temple of Lightning.
Is there any, like, remnants of, like, divine intervention on the Skornkin at all?
Nope.
No, this is just happenstance.
No. You'll see.
Okay.
You guys go inside to find that the walls have been barraged and bombarded and detonated. And in fairness, the traders are getting a good headway, and I'd say about a quarter in. But the temple opens up as you guys arrive. Your guys' giants will stay outside. It's a bit small for them, to be honest. And the ranger force will just be around, keeping tabs on the place, make sure no other Skornkin or traders show up. You guys enter inside. Inside, you guys find waiting for you the Watcher of Lightning. She's something to behold, mostly because it sort of hurts to look at her, to be honest, but that's besides the point. But she's not alone. Sitting in there with her, standing, awaiting there with her, the two of them having clearly had some decent amount of time to have a healthy discussion on theology. One part of this large stone slab table sits the Watcher of Lightning, Fulanaya. The other sits the Omen Master himself, Hermir. The Storm Giant himself. He was waiting for you guys. He hopes that the distraction he afforded you guys was ample and helpful, which it was. He didn't think it was particularly hard to get them to attack the traders, but the catch to him in his own prophetic capacity was aligning it to the exact time you guys were going to arrive. So that worked out really well for him. For all of you.
Indeed.
He is loath to help someone that is the chromatic catalyst. But your goal is noble, and so thusly he will help you with it, Raze.
I give him a toothy smile.
He saved you the trouble of getting the head, which will only activate in presence of its lineage. Just as only you can activate great grandfather, it is only you and yours that can activate this shrunken head. You had to fight a dragon for it. Thought that was a hard fight. But he didn't think you would mind. Well, rather, he knows you're not. The shrunken head will read to you in Draconic, ancient Draconic, a sort of slower, simpler dialect of it. An incantation, a mystical incantation, which by itself has no intrinsic meaning. It's not like words have meaning. Just it as a consonant, a series of consonants have meaning. He does tell you that there is only one more ingredient you need. After that, you can activate it.
Pretty cool.
You have the code, so to speak. You have the way of activating it. You have the crystal, which he says can be used here in the Temple of Lightning once it gets its other component.
So collect the component, come back, and then
Activate it across the continent.
Yeah. Ooh.
Exactly.
Ooh.
He says you need, and this is gonna be a bit hard, and he says it's a bit weird. Well, not weird, but it's up your alley.
Oh.
You need the head of the strongest Scornkin in the land. And great grandfather will confirm this.
Yeah, this is appropriate.
The strongest Scornkin in the land is way deeper inland. And the reason it is the strongest one is because the Archon is empowering it to create another Knight of Tempest. At this point, they're hitting the nuclear option.
All the more reason to go get it.
That being said, he can clear you guys away. In fact, don't even ask. He's already done it. But he says you guys need to go to the Temple of Fire first, because something's happened. And two, this was when he would give Ruhan something, an artifact. Or not an artifact, an item. It is a crude little thing. Well, little by his stature, because he's a storm giant. It's about the size of a human torso. It looks like someone tried to put their signature on a piece of metal. Or not a signature, like the brand. There you go. It's like the mold for a brand. And Ruhan would recognize it to a certain degree. It's similar, it's a really shittier, less complex form of the same signature brand that is on the Forge Master's fingers. He says you guys don't need it. But you guys have to go to the Temple of Fire because he will tell you it's not so easy as them just activating it. And off you guys go.
Hey ho!
The Watcher of Lightning does have a way of fast transiting you.
Oh, that's.
I know the phrase "ride the lightning" is normally a bad thing.
That's literally where my brain went.
Yeah, that's normally a bad phrase. But in this case, it's a good phrase because it's quite literal. She could sort of catapult you from the Temple of Lightning to another point in the continent. Because she was the last, like, the deepest defense. So she can't turn on teleportation yet, but she can get you, like, a really close equivalent. So she can teleport you guys there. And you guys take her up on the offer. It's a very weird thing to ride literal lightning. It's rather instantaneous, to be honest with you. It smells heavily of ozone and burnt steak. And it's blinding, which is why she warns you guys to just close your eyes and keep them closed for the next 2 seconds after you feel a sudden burst of energy. Your guys' hair, if you guys have hair, so that's a massive no for Raids and a massive yes for Ruhan, is a mess afterwards, but you guys instantaneously teleports to another part of the continent. In fact, you guys arrive right behind the Farseer team, startling the absolute fuck out of all of them. To the point where at a point when you guys first get there, you guys have like 4 to 5 sniper rifles aimed at you. But then they realize it's you, and they're not even gonna ask. And they tell you guys a situation. The special watch team cannot get in because there's something blocking. There's someone blocking it.
I'm gonna guess probably the fire giants variety.
Bingo! Sitting there on a massive lizard that is adorned with a forge upon its very back to the point where it looks almost like a turtle, is the fire giant horseman. Fenrir is massive. He's gargantuan. So is Grobor. This thing is even bigger than that. It is a walking building on this creature.
Damn.
It holds a forge complex on its back. The nearby vicinity of the temple is scorched. To be fair, it was already sort of scorched because of temple fire, but that's besides the point. The nearby climate is literally hotter by dozens of degrees. Even going closer towards this fire giant lizard will require a bit of, how to say, protective precaution. Raze, you're rather inured against it. Actually, now that I think about it, hold on a sec. Raze, you're inured against it because dragon. Or you're from the desert. Rose, you're a tiefling.
Yeah, but
Nope.
to survive, she doesn't have fire resistance. Remember?
Oh. Well, it's not survive. It's wherever you're resistant to it. But you're
Well,
right.
she doesn't have it.
You're right.
Unless we decide to do
Shit.
the resurrection play of just trying to bring her back with the same
I
thing.
think you're gonna do that.
No, that was never gonna fucking happen. There's way too many factors there.
I feel like you guys probably had a fire talisman. If I'm being honest. If you
Yeah,
guys had
I feel like
necrotic
it's-
talismans...
If we're gonna go out to the lightning one and potentially have to double back to the fire one, I feel like we probably have one of both, at the very least.
If nothing else, the Farsers would have them. Because they would have been expected to go to either one of you guys. So yeah, they probably would just give you guys the fire talismans. You guys go up.
My shit.
You guys go on up. And there you meet the fire giant horseman. Who, even as he's waiting for you guys to pull up, is making something. As he pulls it from the red hot irons and flushes it on oil to cool it, he pulls it out and you guys see it is a pike that could skewer multiple heads. You guys rub your necks awkwardly. It's like, why would he need a kebab that could skewer multiple heads? Like, why would he need that? That's crazy. That's wild. There's no reason he would need that. Right? Yeah, there's no reason he would need that. No reason at all. None at all. Feel free to describe to O that you guys got something from...
What did we get? I was taking the dog.
You got a mold for a brand.
Excuse me.
Alright, we're coming up on the final stretch here.
Sorry.
So, I find it very ironic that O says that I don't think it's possible to save him.
When you have a thing that says, hey.
You guys go up to him. He knows who you are, and you know who he is. There's no questions about that. I think Ruhan, of all people, will be one doing it. He presents the brand, or the mold for the brand. It is not good. It is not well made. Not at all.
But who was it made by?
It's his signature.
Right.
It was made by his little brother.
That's what.
Oh.
Just as younger siblings, back when they're young and innocent, look up to their older siblings before they realize whether or not their older sibling is good or bad. Changes from family to family. In those early fledglings of innocence, his younger brother aspired to be like his older brother. Like him. He wanted to be a part of that life. This was his first attempts at doing that. He gives you guys a story. A story of when his little brother did first make this. He laughed in his face. He said it was trash. It was crude. It was terrible. His little brother wanted this of all things to be his brand. This sucks. If he used this as his signature brand, he'd be laughed at. Just as he's laughing at his little brother right now. It'd be terrible.
Okay, he needs to. Okay, this guy needs to go.
He gives you this story. And he begins crying. He gives you a story of his own arrogance, even when he was younger, shining through. But his little brother's gone. You guys made sure of that, didn't you? No. No. You guys might have been the one to cease his pulse. But he lost his little brother a long time ago. He lost it to a hag. Lost him to a hag. And in fairness...
Oh.
Did he try to work? Did he try to get his brother out of the problem by joining up with Onibaba?
It was never a good deal.
But it's
Hag deals never are good. He knows that. He remarks aloud, if maybe he had been kinder to his brother, maybe he wouldn't have gone to Onibaba. The price has been paid. He thanks you for freeing him, one way or another. There's some part of him that wants to know how he looked when you guys killed him. But there's some part of him that doesn't. But it's a burden he has to bear, so he asks of you guys, what did he look like?
I remember.
And you guys described the Oni as you saw him.
Yeah. Didn't he die as a fire giant?
He did not. An Oni is only a large size category, my friends. That's only a 2x2. Compared to giants. Real giants. He died small. Pathetic. As you guys describe what he looked like to him, you see him cringe more and more. He never stops working on... He stops working on the pike piece. And begins working on something else. And as you guys describe what the Oni looked like in his final moments, the pounding gets harder and harder. To the point where even though he's on top of a large, basically turtle creature, he's hitting hard enough to send vibrations through the shell that is carrying this whole compound dedicated to blacksmithery, and it sends vibrations out across the earth to where you guys are standing. That's how strong he's hammering this object. It's probably a miracle that he hasn't broken the damn thing, to be honest.
The thing he's forging or the turtle?
Both. The turtle, the lizard, it's more of a lizard, like a giant salamander. It's pretty chill with us, weirdly enough. It's pretty used to it. A nerd, I guess. You guys finished describing what the Oni was like, and he's finished with his piece. It is a masterful copy and evolution of the thing you guys presented him. It is the mold of a brand from which you could cast into to make that sort of branding seal. That's what the bottom part looks like. The upper part looks like a tombstone with his little brother's name on it. Thaisel. The fires grow immensely lighter. As in, alleviate, not brighter. They lift. The place is still warm, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near as much. He gives over the tombstone and reveals that it does have two sides to it. The tombstone part, at least. The forge, the cast rather, is still there. That's it. That's its own thing. On one side says Cecil, his younger brother's name. On the other side is his. I think this is his name. I'm 99% certain. But this might be one of those things where I put multiple names down and I forget one of those names exists. If that's the case, we'll retcon. So, it's actually a very interesting thing. He's not actually as owned by Onibaba as everyone else. In a similar way as Deimos is like second-hand owned by the traders, he's second-hand owned by Onibaba. So he still commands a good amount of free volition. It is up to you guys if you want to grant his final request. Do you kill him?
Is his request to kill him?
It is. Assisted suicide.
Is he gonna put up a
Race
fight,
gonna
or is
be
it just
okay
we're
with
putting
that.
down a sick dog?
The latter.
Damn, that's sad.
It is sad.
His craftsmanship, like all fire giants, has been his life. But he sees now that he's crafted really nothing of merit or value save for insults for his own family. He looks as the forge smashes fingers as he says that. And those insults have driven his family to the edge. He takes no pride in things he's crafted now. His life work is ashes. A bad taste in his mouth. Why don't you guys go at OY, use the restroom. Real fast. And then there are really only two things left.
Yee.
The Scorinken and the end. I'll be right back.
Ugh. My lungs. Right. Yeah, that's the point. Do like a final hurrah
back.
kind of thing.
I see
Hello.
O has given a rather wise answer.
Mm.
I'll take that. I'll take that. He can get rid of the stone giant horseman. He is still owned by Onibaba. And really the main predominant factor of that ownership is he can't fight her.
But
He can fight the stone giant one. Which is probably is pretty fucking important. Considering how the stone giant horseman is the one in charge of the security for Onibaba. In her own lair.
That would be very convenient for us.
You guys will have to deliver the killing boy yourself. I guess that's 3 stops instead of the end. That aside, you guys go activate the Temple of Fire. Teleportation is reactivated on the continent. Fun times. Teleportation reactivated. I think you guys, for giving the blacksmithing analogy, should strike while the iron is hot and go take down Onibaba. Onibaba's abode we go. With your guys' fire giant acquaintance going ahead of you to go clear the way. There's still plenty of defenses that are automated, even. Powered by runic magic. What does Onibaba's abode look like, you may wonder? It is a literal massive pit in the ground. At the bottom of which sits a lake, and from the lake erupts out a billowing pillar of clouds.
Yee.
seems fitting. The giants, like the best of the giants, are at the top of the mountain. This one will be at the middle of a pit.
In order to get to where she is up top, you need to lower the place. In order to lower the place, you gotta go disable the runic magic at the bottom of the pit. I guess now I could show you guys that token that O has been working on for Onibaba for me.
Oh. Yeah.
Where is it? I can spell. There it is. Look at this crazy bitch.
Hello. Yeah.
Stone Giant Horseman is neutralized. Not killed, but he is subdued. Leave to you guys to decide his fate afterwards. You guys descend down this dungeon of stone giant contraption and machination. And you guys find something very, very interesting at the bottom. It's rather hag and poetic in that sort of you're an asshole sense. It's a portal to hell.
Huh.
Ah.
Rose. In your heart of hearts, you remember deep in your mind what his symbols and icons, what they look like. The Veil Broker, Generak. He talks to you guys as you guys descend down and see this lovely table he's set up, although in fairness he's like 18 feet tall and has multiple arms, but that's besides the point. Of course he's not alone. He has his own little servants and soldiers with him. He implores and invites you guys to sit down. Let's have a chat.